Electric Fang's web fortresses and secrets revealed. Why does this tarantula flash a set of bright blue fangs that look almost electric? That question alone is enough to make any tarantula owner grin while peeking into the enclosure of their blue fang tarantula. If you already keep one of these wild little eight-legged characters, then you know just how mesmerizing and hilarious this species can be. The blue fang tarantula, or Ephebopus cyanognathus, is not a spider that blends into the crowd. Its behavior, its colors, even the way it decorates its enclosure, all of it screams personality. The first thing you probably show off to anyone visiting is those fangs. They are not dull, not brown, not hidden. They are neon blue, glowing like tiny electric lights under your spider's face. It is as if your tarantula got a set of glow-in-the-dark braces. And those fangs are not just a style choice, they are part of a much bigger story that we will come back to later. As an owner, you already know this spider does not act like the typical dig-and-hide tarantula. Native to the humid rainforests of French Guiana in South America, blue fangs are builders. They dig burrows, but they also cover their space in sheets of silk, making tunnels above ground that connect to their underground lairs. Imagine a cross between a haunted house and a subway system. That is your blue fang's home design. It is like they looked at other tarantulas and thought, "You just dig one hole? That is adorable." And if you own one, you also know what comes next. Feeding time. You drop in a cricket and boom, the spider launches out of its tunnel like a jack-in-the-box with fangs. The prey disappears in a blur, dragged into the depths. The first time it happens, new keepers usually jump harder than the cricket. It is startling, funny, and honestly one of the best parts of keeping this species. Some owners even admit to dropping in food just for the drama, like they're watching live-action horror movies starring their own pet. Now here's something to think about. What unusual web-building habit makes this species stand out from many other tarantulas? Keep that in mind while we get into care, because that answer will surprise you. Caring for a blue fang starts with the enclosure. Give it at least a 5 to 10 gallon tank with deep substrate around 4 to 6 inches. A mix of cocoa fiber, peat moss, and soil holds moisture and is easy to dig in. This is a species that really puts the burrow in burrowing spider. So if you give them shallow dirt, expect them to spend half their time trying to escape in protest. Add cork bark, fake plants, and some anchor points, and then watch as your spider ignores your decorating and moves things around anyway. Blue fangs are little interior designers with zero respect for your vision board. Owners often wake up to find water dishes buried, fake plants yanked into tunnels, or cork bark flipped like a construction site accident. They are the ultimate home remodelers, whether you like it or not. Humidity is essential. Keep it between 75 and 85% with light misting every few days. Some keepers use moss to help maintain moisture, but always make sure there's good airflow to prevent mold. Stale, swampy air is worse than a slightly dry enclosure. Temperature should be in the 75 to 82 degree range. Basically, if you feel like you are keeping a rainforest spa in your room, you're doing it right. A small water dish should also be included, though don't be surprised if your spider decides to web it over like it never existed. Diet is one of the most entertaining parts of ownership. Juveniles will happily eat 2 or 3 times a week, adults less often. Crickets and roaches are the main course, though they will grab just about any suitable feeder insect. They are bold eaters, no waiting around politely. They pounce like they have been starving for days. Some owners describe it as watching a trapdoor monster spring to life, only with more flair. And while we're on the subject, remember, this is not a handling species. They are lightning fast, defensive, and while their venom is not lethal, a bite would still be very unpleasant. The safest way to enjoy them is through the glass, watching their antics. Think of them as living artwork. You admire, you enjoy, but you don't reach in and poke the masterpiece. So what about that earlier question? The unusual web-building habit that makes them unique is this. Blue fang tarantulas weave thick silken tunnels above ground, as well as digging deep burrows. Instead of choosing between living below or above, they do both, creating a fortress of soil and silk. No wonder many enclosures end up looking like haunted castles. The combination of earthy tunnels and shimmering silk sheets is part of what makes them such fascinating display spiders. Even when you don't always see them, you can still see their work. Now let's talk about the comedy that comes with ownership. Many keepers know the peekaboo predator look. Your spider sits right at the tunnel entrance, fangs just barely visible, like a little neon blue guard dog. Then there is the master builder behavior. Some blue fangs drag decorations and even water dishes into their burrows, as if redecorating, and of course the web fortress story. After a few days, you return to find the entire enclosure wrapped in thick silk like a Halloween prop. Sometimes you cannot even see your spider anymore, but you know it is in there somewhere, waiting. And let's not forget the vanishing act. Blue fangs are masters of disappearing into their burrows for days or even weeks after a molt. Owners joke that they bought a spider and ended up with a tank full of dirt and webs. The payoff, of course, is when the freshly molted tarantula finally reemerges, glowing brighter than ever, which brings us to their color changes. After a molt, their colors are at their absolute brightest, a jet black body, fiery orange legs, and those electric blue fangs. Over time, the brightness fades until the next molt when the spider comes out looking brand new again. Owners often joke that their tarantula just got a makeover, strutting around like it owns a catwalk. Molting can be nerve-wracking, especially for new keepers. Your spider may refuse food for weeks and hide constantly, but the reward of seeing that post-molt glow is worth the wait every time. It's like your pet pressed the reset button on its style. In the last video, we uncovered how the Blue Fang tarantula senses movement through its silk like a built-in alarm, but here's something unexpected. Did you know juveniles can sometimes live communally for short periods? A rare social trait in a mostly solitary world. Now here is something else. What secret weapon makes this species a favorite for photographers? That one is easy. It's dramatic color contrast. The velvet dark body, the orange legs, and the glowing blue fangs make the blue fang one of the most photogenic tarantulas in the hobby. Even people who scream at spiders cannot help staring at a good photo of this species. Many owners end up with whole albums of spider glamour shots. Some even say their blue fang gets more likes on Instagram than they do, which brings us back to where we started. Why does this tarantula flash a set of bright blue fangs that look almost electric? The answer is survival. The blue fang tarantula evolved those colors as a warning display. When threatened, it rears up and shows its glowing fangs as if to say, "Back off." That flash of color is enough to intimidate predators, often without needing to fight. It is one of nature's most brilliant defense tricks, wrapped up in a pet you get to admire every day. So the next time you peer into your spider's enclosure and spot that flash of neon blue, remember what you are seeing. Not just a pet, but a creature that combines artistry, engineering, and attitude. Keep the substrate deep, keep the humidity steady, feed them well, and let them turn their tank into a silk fortress. In return, you will have one of the most striking tarantulas alive, putting on a show in your care. And before you head out, remember to subscribe for more care tips, wild stories, and close-up looks at the world's most fascinating creatures. Next up, did you know your orange baboon tarantula can climb upside down and navigate vertical surfaces using tiny claw-tipped hairs on its feet? These specialized pads, called scopuli, act like biological suction cups, allowing your spider to scale smooth glass like a pro. So while you think it's safe at the bottom of the tank, it might be clinging to the lid, planning its next dramatic surprise entrance. Better secure.